If you're anything like me, you've somewhat jealously watched the emergence of all of these node projects with crazy returns over the past few months. But in this video, I want to show you how you can safely get involved in one of my favorite node projects so far without having to dive into some crazy Ponzi scheme to do so. The other thing I love about this project is that it's very, very easy. You don't have to be a blockchain expert. You don't have to go out and create something crazy and spend a ton of money to get involved in this. All you have to know how to do is deposit and withdraw Bitcoin. Now, briefly, let's talk about some of the node projects that have come out and how they work, and then we'll understand a little bit more about how this node project is different. If you're familiar with kind of the king of all nodes, it's StrongBlock Nodes. They're huge, they've been around for a while, and a lot of people know about them. Now, there's something important you have to understand about StrongBlock Nodes, and that's that they're not full nodes. So StrongBlock is out there and they are creating nodes to help with the Ethereum blockchain, but they're not full nodes. And essentially what that means is they're not providing a ton of value. They are providing value, but not a ton of value, each new node to the blockchain. But importantly, they're not getting paid, meaning StrongBlock is not making any money on the nodes that they're out there creating. And so while they're paying you out money, they're not making money, which tells us that all the money that's coming into StrongBlock that they're paying out must be coming from new users. And that's really important for us to know. Obviously, that's risky, and there's a word for that. But after StrongBlock, then came a new emergence of nodes, a new class of nodes. And those, in my opinion, went even lower. They just used the word node. They liked the word node as a marketing word. And so they launched nodes that weren't actually nodes and had no node whatsoever. But it was the same model, right? Where people come in, and then the only way that the people that come in and put their money in these projects make money is by other people joining these projects and putting in their money. And the projects code and they build everything in such a way that it discourages you from pulling your money out, and they try to make it really hard and difficult and costly to pull your money out, especially early on in the project. And that's how they sustain the project. Personally, I don't like that kind of project. I don't think it's sustainable. I think history tells us that's unsustainable. So this project that we're going to introduce you today to is called YieldNodes, and it does things different. YieldNodes uses what is called master nodes, which means they're actually going out there and creating master nodes that actually benefit the blockchains that they're working on, and they actually get paid to do so. Master nodes run a lot of the blockchain, which means they perform a lot of the functionality that's core for a blockchain to work. Now, something that's complicated about master nodes is, one, they typically cost a lot of money. I've seen some master nodes that cost literally hundreds of thousands of dollars to create, and they're also very complicated. And you can lose all your money if you do it wrong. I know someone that lost $10,000 trying to create a node for one of these projects. So let's look at this program in a nutshell. You deposit a minimum of $500, and you do that using Bitcoin typically, maximum $250,000. I don't think most people would put that much in. And what they do is they pay out every single month. Now, you guarantee that they'll be able to hold your money for 6 months. And the reason for that is they need to go take your money and they need to go put it in projects and things like that. So you put in your money, they go put it into these master node projects, and as soon as it's in the project, it starts getting a return. Now, the real beauty here is if we look at their returns, they project a 5 to 15% profit. Now, here's the really important numbers. They've been doing this since 2019. And they've never gone below that 5% profit range. The second thing is they've averaged a 10% profit for their investors over that very long time span. The third thing is their best month yet, they hit a 19% return on investment for their investors. Now, as you can see here, they claim that if the yield ever does drop below 5% for 3 consecutive months, then you can take out all of your money and get it all back, including any money that you've accrued along the way. This is all done through a fairly simple online portal where you can click deposit and it gives you a Bitcoin address and you put in your Bitcoin. And when you're ready to withdraw, you click withdraw and you can start withdrawing your funds. Now, again, you can't do that in the first 6 months with your initial deposit, but for all the money that your initial deposit makes, you can be doing that every single month. Now, if you're anything like me, you're looking at this and saying, this is too good to be true, because 10% a month is insane and no one pays out 10% a month. So I scoured the internet, I searched Reddit, I searched everything I could find to see if there was anybody that had been in this project since 2019. And there were plenty of people and no one has any complaints. So they have been, unless they've managed to hide it completely across the web, they've been able to pay out 10% on average a month for 3 years now, which is pretty impressive for a project like this. A couple other things I love about this project is that their entire team is online and very active, totally doxed. You can see these are the 4 core members of their team. They're very, very active. Even better, you can just contact the CEO directly, and he's very, very open and willing to talk to you about the business model. You can see right here, you can email support, and he actually replied to me when I emailed support and told him who I was. But you can also just directly Skype with him or WhatsApp with him, and he puts that information directly on the site. Now, I really like this, that they're totally out there. They're out there interviewing, being very, very active. Typically, that's a sign that someone's not planning on running away with your money. They don't typically put their name and face out on the internet a lot, because who would? The other thing I really liked is that they had an audit done on their project. It was one of the most interesting audits I've ever seen. I actually dove in here and read through the entire audit. And the way they structured this audit is it was all done on video, but they picked a random 5 members of the community. They put a poll out there and said, who would like in our community or our investors to participate in this audit? They had about 50 people say they wanted to participate, and then they live chose 5 random people, 5 random investors. They flew them in to their headquarters, and those 5 people were able to look at their financials, look at their projects, and go through everything. And you can see they even took pictures of it all right here of the audit. Pretty interesting audit. And then each of those 5 people gave links to who they were, and they also gave signed statements that they had seen what they said they seen. Basically saying this is not a Ponzi scheme, they actually have sustainable financials. Now, the only worry here is obviously these 5 people, we don't know who they are, we don't know their expertise. They did post for each one of them what their expertise is, and some of them had backgrounds that were pretty impressive, that you would think they would know some questions to ask in this case. So what I'm loving about this project and why I'm starting to put a lot more of my money into it is, one, history. They've done what they said they would do, and they've done it for a few years now, which a lot of projects cannot say they've done. And the second thing is a pretty crazy payout. You can see if you put in $10,000 and they continue to do what they've said they're going to do for 1 year, then you can calculate your $10,000 and turn it into $31,000. My plan is to do that and pull out my initial investment and run with the profits. That's typically what I do in crypto. So I love their history. I love the fairly safe nature of the payout that they're putting out. I like that the team is doxed. I like that the team is active. I like that they've been audited, though in a strange manner. And I really love the simplicity of this online account where I can just come in, put in money, pull out money. I can see very easily what's happening with my money, while at the same time not having to be some kind of node expert. So the last thing I'll say is this is crypto. There's always risk in crypto, and a project like this absolutely has risk. I made a complete review, and I'll leave a link down below if you want to go watch the complete review of this project, where I kind of talk about what I see to be the biggest risks. But to me, as I look out there at the node landscape, this is one of the safest bets in my opinion. And I'm not a financial advisor, I probably should have said that at the beginning, but this is where I am putting a lot of my money. And as part of this channel, I always try to show you the projects that I'm putting my money in. I sure wish I would have found this a year or 2 ago. So we'll leave a link down below if you want to get signed up for YieldNodes, and we'll also leave a tutorial for exactly how to go about it. Though as I said earlier, it's fairly easy if you know how to deposit and withdraw Bitcoin. And if you're new to this channel, if you like watching Bitcoin videos and crypto videos that don't have a lot of hype, but do have a lot of honesty, this is the channel for you. Go ahead and click subscribe, and thanks so much for watching.